Welcome back. We're making quite some progress building our CMS. In this video we'll populate the sidebar, so let's roll up our sleeves and get going. Now we said we wanted to populate the sidebar with the latest articles. So open up the article model and let's create a method that will do just that. I'll just do public function get recent. Now that seems like a good name. It will take limit as a parameter. Now first we'll cast limit as an integer. And now I would like to set our pubdate where statement again. But instead let's just give that its own method. I think it deserves that much. Now we'll call that public function set published. In there we'll just call our infamous where statement. So that would be this db where pubdate is smaller than or equal to today. Now why would we want to create an entire function for this? Well, that's simple. Now we can abstract away the publication query statements in the rest of the application. We'll just replace them with this method here. If in the future we ever add an offline date or anything, we can simply alter this method here instead of having to refactor our code all over the place. It just helps to keep our code a little more dry. And as you might know, dry stands for don't repeat yourself. While we're here, let's also set a to-do. Now we need to update all instances of pubdate. In my IDE, setting a to-do string in a comment will add it to the list of tasks in my to-do list. Very handy. In fact, I often use this when I plan my code. For instance, before I start coding, I often add stuff like set paging, fetch records, load view, and then when I code them, I just remove the to-do and they get swiped from my to-do list. Okay, enough of that. Let's just fetch those articles. First, let's call our new setPublished method. Now, let's limit the number of articles to limit. And then, let's fetch the articles and return them. Now, lazy as I am, I'm inclined to just call this method in our front-end controller so we have access to the newest articles everywhere. But I'll just be a good boy and call it where we need the sidebar only. So, I'll open up the article controller first. Let's do this data recent news and call article model get recent. Then I'll copy that code and paste it in where we need it. And I think I forgot to set a default value for limit, so let's just fix that. Okay, next in line, open up the page controller. We need this in the news archive template and we need it in the page template. And let's just remove these hideous dumps while we're here. Now we can only use this call if we've loaded the article model. So we'll just load that in our front-end controller. Let's open it up and load it. Now let's set a to-do to remove all article model loads elsewhere. And I think that's all for now. So let's just open up the sidebar view and the homepage view. The homepage view? Yes, because remember, we already displayed a similar list of news articles in the sidebar there. So I can just copy that code and bring it into the sidebar view here. Also, we need to bear in mind that we didn't name our variable articles. Instead, we called it recent_news. So I'm guessing that will work. Let's just have a look at the news archive page first, and yes, looking good. And now the news article detail page. Yep, that's looking good as well. Okay, time to close all files and have a look at our to-do list. Oh yes, we need to replace the manual pubdate where statement with our set published. Luckily, it's still on my clipboard. Okay, let's search for all instances of pubdate is smaller than. And now I'll just open these up one by one and replace that line of code with the call to get published. One more. And let's remove the to-do line as well. So we'll go here and just delete that. Anything else? Let's click the application folder to view all the to-dos inside. Oh yes, remove the article model load. Okay, we'll just search for this load model article M. And this time let's set a replace and let's set it to an empty string. Now we'll just preview the results. Let's see, we need to replace this. So let's leave that checked. Same goes for article. We don't need to replace the admin article and we don't need to replace the front-end controller. And now let's remove that to-do as well. And we'll just go through the entire site one more time. The home page, just a random page, the news archive, and the news article detail. All looking good. So that's it. In the next video we'll set up the last template, which is page. I'll see you then.